Doing another slight one here. Back at you when I'm out of suburbia. Departing suburbia. One road I last brought you over back in June of 2016. Maryland Route 30. And now, as back then, construction. We were stopped for a while, but an hour later we're finally moving. Crossing over the Western Maryland Railroad up here. Railway, whatever. Overpass built in the 1930s to alleviate a grade crossing. That was before that. And still much traffic. And again, we're stopping. Oh, there's our problem. Yeah, we took the sign down, the lane closure sign. Anyway, before the 30s, the tracks were a lot busier. Now just one train a day, and it wouldn't matter if the crossing still existed. Yes, time changes things, doesn't it? Part of the old WM line to our right, the Western Maryland line. Back where the backup was, the line divides. This goes north to Gettysburg and York. There's a westbound line going to Westminster and Hagerstown. We're about to see more of this one after I pick up the old road. Which I apparently do up ahead here someplace. Yep, here's the original route. Old Hanover Pike. We just came off of the current Hanover Pike, as in Hanover, PA. North to the left. The only line in the area I haven't ridden yet myself. One more crossing of the line here. This road crosses the line 3 times. Yep, your bullfrog just crossed the line. Uh-oh. Hope no one finds out. But I'll say one thing, that backup back there was boring. Speaking of which, look where we are. Boring. Maryland. The boring post office. Yes, Virginia, there is a boring Maryland. And the one more crossing of the former Western Maryland Railway line, now part of CSX, unfortunately. Caught a train here back in December of 2008. Video posted. And looking south, next to the post office. I thought it might have been a former train station, but I don't think it was. A boring volunteer fire company. Can it be that bad in there? There is an encouraging sign. No pun intended. Not so boring bingo. Alright. Yeah, train coming now would be perfect. Except I'm on the track and I'd be getting hit by it. Downtown boring. A boring downtown. Let's take this road. I haven't been over this road in a while. Pleasant Grove Road. Heading east. Heading away from the sun. So I should get better video results. Hope you enjoyed this boring place. I wouldn't mind living in boring. and telling people I live there. I'll tell people, yeah, I live in Boring. Let them think what they want. I don't care. If they think I'm boring, so be it. Now we're on Dover Road. Not a lot of scenery though. Just blind curves. Yeah, give them sight. What happened there? Up, stop sign, back at you. Now on Butler Road, heading east. Towards its namesake. Not a bad day out there today. Temps upper 50s. Very comfortable. Considering how it's been. And here is its namesake. Butler, Maryland. I know, I'll go a bit further out. We have some time. Hang a left. Go north. This is Route 25, northbound. And it too has its curves. Now on Stringtown Road, heading eastbound. Sounds like a Steve Miller title. Oops, that's Swingtown, not Stringtown. But here's a stop sign that changes from Stringtown Road to Cold Bottom Road. Don't know how it got the name. Up Yo-Ho Road. Yo-ho-ho. And a bottle of rum. Anybody got one? And to the right, the lone house on the prairie. A big house on the prairie. All right, watch the road. Now south on York Road, Route 25. The way folks got to York, PA, before the coming of Interstate 83. Up until 1958, this was your route northbound. The other direction, of course. Formerly US 111. Now east on Sparks Road. Old schoolhouse here that burnt down in the mid-80s. I don't recall when it ran. It ran for the longest time. I'm surprised I heard one night back in the 80s that it burned down. I guess it caught a spark. No pun intended. They don't call this road Sparks for nothing. But up ahead, we crossed the Gunpowder Falls on this bridge from the 1890s, one-lane bridge. Seeing its third century of operation, it's a grate bridge. Uses a grate. And up here to the former railroad, Northern Central, now bike trail. I'll give you a look. And there's a nature center that at one time was a bank. Obviously. Up until the early 60s, that was a bank. And here where the parking lot is, an old wooden store once stood. An old department store. And here's a photo showing when that wooden store existed. And it banked directly behind. Sorry about that shadow in the picture there. And that shelter you see in the foreground was for the railroad that used to be here. looking south on the former rail line. Began as Baltimore and Susquehanna, bought out by the Penn in the 1860s, and became the Northern Central Railroad. And then finally it became North Central branch of the Penn. It got demoted from main line to branch. Hope I got that out right. It's the pain medication. I'm looking north on the line. All trains operated until 71. Then the passenger trains stopped running when Amtrak was formed. And the freights kept running until 72. Until Hurricane Agnes knocked it out June of that year. The track got pulled up in 79 and became a bike trail back in 85. There you go. History in a nutshell. But I can't help getting sentimental whenever I come out here. I had many a bike ride on this route between Baltimore and York. Oh, the memories. I gotta get back on a bike. I can't walk that well, but I can bike. Because I can bike sitting down. I gotta stand up to walk. As dumb as that sounds, that's the truth. It's the mechanics of the whole thing. And the bridge over the Gunpowder Falls. In its third century of service. Let's see. 1800s, 1900s, and now the 2000s. 3 centuries of service for that bridge. And it still works. Whatever. And the Gunpowder Falls is part of Baltimore's water supply. My only wish now is that I got to see a train run here before they pulled the track up. Oh well. Let's continue on. Right, back on the road and out of the Gunpowder Valley. Now on Carroll Road, southbound. And about to cross another bridge that serves us for 3 centuries. This one. I've got some old stuff here on the East Coast. Adopt a road? I guess I could. But you have to walk in and pick the trash up out of my league. And apparently folks with my last name adopted this road. The sign said, the Karras family. How about that? No, the Karras family. Sounds like a 60s TV show. But we're not that eccentric, though, as that TV show the family was. Now arriving, Phoenix. Yes, that's right. At a former mill town, once upon a time. There was a mill across the way at one time, about 100 years ago. And there's how it looked when it existed. A one-time busy place. And again by the former railroad, the hiker bike trail. Looking north and south. At one time there were 2 tracks coming through here. There were 4 tracks in some spots. That's how busy this line once was, believe it or not. And here at Phoenix, it was a former commuter stop. There was a commuter station here up until I believe the mid-60s. Early 60s, actually. And that there road is Phoenix Road. And down there is Gunpowder Falls again. Baltimore's water supply. But yeah, I gotta one day get back on my bike And over there, the Phoenix Frog Pond. You know that I know about those things. Okay, back on the road. And this is downtown Phoenix. Old buildings and things. There's some kept up. But once a thriving mill town. Alright, we're going. Now east on Paper Mill Road. For those following along on Google Maps, as some folks told me they do when they watch my rides. But as I said before, back in the 70s, these were my day odysseys. Just rides on country roads not too far away. That's all I could afford back in my teenage days. That's all I can still afford now. Never mind. But also, as I said, I first took night odysseys before day odysseys. Yep, I began with the night odysseys. All I can do now are slight odysseys. Anyway, entering Jacksonville again. Last time I passed through here was one night filming the Christmas lights. Nice old church there as we depart Jacksonville. Gonna go south in a bit. And it appears where we do that. Manor Road. That away. And this is it. A road that I took many a drive on back in the 70s. Got some scenery here. Up here to the right is the former Long Green Post Office, now residence. I'll pick it out. Right there where the white cars parked now. Back in the late 70s, I took a picture from that post office looking at this road in the snow. You want to see it? We're going to anyway. And for the record, the post office is now next to the former Ma and Pa station at Hydes, Maryland. But still called Long Green or not called Hydes. I can't remember, though I've seen it before. Not coming into the reservoir area, Baltimore's water supply. The road once continued on before it got flooded over, as you can almost tell. Alright, hang a left. Some of the reservoir there. It's got a big goose population. Back in the 70s, you could park here at night. It'd be like a lover's lane sort of thing. But they stopped allowing that back in the late 70s. A lot of folks park here now in the daylight hours. Now what are they up to? Put your flashers on, man. Your car's got them. So does this one. And by the way, there are a couple old roads beneath the water there. Believe it or not. Old roads flooded over. There are two dams here. The bigger one there was built in 1912 and raised in 1922, made higher for more capacity. The original lower one is downstream here somewhere. And in fact, they built a bridge off the WMRY Railroad to haul construction materials here for the dam. And over there, the smaller of the two dams, the older one, built 1888. Got a couple of bikers here as you approach the smaller dam, the older of the two. There was a gatehouse there at one time, but long torn down. Let me get by these guys. If I were bike riding, I'd be going to the right, let the cars pass me. Better than being hit. What's stuff up there? I live up there. And here, a restaurant with old mom and pop photos on the wall. The Iron Horse Inn. Happily named. But now back in suburbia. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this boring ride, so to speak. Boring. Maryland. I'm now back in Herbia. Hope you enjoyed this ride into boredom. Boring boredom, whatever. Hope you enjoyed your boring Slate Odyssey. Back at ya.